Hello friends. What happens when the ambitious and grounded Capricorn man meets the witty, free-spirited Gemini woman? Is it a cosmic love story or a recipe for disaster? Their personalities couldn't be more different, but as the old saying goes, opposites attract. Or do they? Let's break down their compatibility, covering love, sex, marriage, friendship, and even business partnerships. And trust me, the dynamics between these two signs are anything but boring. Love compatibility. At first glance, you might wonder how these two even end up together. The Capricorn man is serious, reliable, and goal-oriented. He values stability, tradition, and long-term commitment. He moves through life with a carefully thought-out plan, determined to build something meaningful and lasting. The Gemini woman, on the other hand, is curious, spontaneous, and thrives on variety. She's constantly seeking new experiences, learning new things, and adapting to change without hesitation. It's like pairing a corporate CEO with a carefree artist, or a methodical chess player with a free-spirited traveler. Their differences are glaring, and yet, there's an undeniable intrigue between them. Capricorn is drawn to Gemini's effortless charm, intelligence, and ability to see the world in a way he never could. Meanwhile, Gemini finds Capricorn's confidence, ambition, and quiet strength incredibly attractive. It's a classic case of opposites attracting, but the real question is, can they truly make it work in the long run? Here's the twist: these differences can actually complement each other if both partners are willing to meet halfway. Capricorn brings structure, stability, and emotional security, which can be invaluable to Gemini when her restless mind starts to wander. His steady, unwavering presence can help ground her, giving her a sense of safety even as she explores different paths in life. Deep down, even Gemini, who thrives on freedom, may find herself appreciating the reliability that Capricorn offers. Meanwhile, Gemini's charm, humor, and adventurous spirit inject excitement into Capricorn's often rigid and predictable world. She encourages him to loosen up, take risks, and embrace the unexpected. In a way, Capricorn gives Gemini the anchor she never knew she needed, while Gemini gives Capricorn the wings he secretly craves. If they can recognize these benefits, their dynamic can be surprisingly fulfilling. However, one of the biggest challenges in this relationship is communication. Capricorn prefers deep, meaningful discussions, carefully choosing his words and thinking through his responses before speaking. He values well-structured conversations that lead to productive conclusions. Gemini, in contrast, is quick-witted, playful, and constantly jumping from one topic to another. She enjoys the process of conversation more than the outcome, which can frustrate Capricorn, who prefers discussions with a clear purpose. Gemini's love for banter and light-hearted debates may seem shallow to Capricorn, while Capricorn's serious approach can feel heavy or restrictive to Gemini. If they don't make an effort to bridge this gap, they may struggle to truly connect on an intellectual and emotional level. But if Capricorn learns to embrace spontaneity in discussions and Gemini practices patience and deeper engagement, they might just find a rhythm that works for both. But, and this is a big but, Capricorn's need for control can make Gemini feel trapped. He likes plans, schedules, and predictability, while she thrives on spontaneity, last-minute decisions, and going wherever the wind takes her. If Capricorn becomes too rigid, insisting on structure and order in every aspect of their relationship, Gemini might start to feel suffocated, as though she's losing her freedom. This could lead to restlessness or even a desire to break away. On the other hand, Gemini's unpredictable nature can make Capricorn feel like he's standing on quicksand. He needs a sense of security, and if Gemini constantly shifts directions without warning, he may struggle to trust the foundation of their relationship. Capricorn is someone who builds for the future, while Gemini often lives in the moment. Finding a balance between these two perspectives will be essential if they want to make things work. Another potential issue is their approach to commitment. Capricorn takes relationships seriously and doesn't enter them lightly. He sees love as an investment, one that requires time, effort, and dedication. Gemini, on the other hand, tends to be more light-hearted when it comes to love. She enjoys the thrill of new connections and isn't always thinking 10 steps ahead the way Capricorn does. This difference in approach can create tension, especially if Capricorn wants to settle down while Gemini still feels the need to explore and experience life. For this relationship to succeed, Gemini must reassure Capricorn that her love is genuine, even if she expresses it in a more playful and unconventional way. Meanwhile, Capricorn needs to understand that Gemini's need for excitement doesn't mean she's not committed, it simply means she requires variety and mental stimulation to stay engaged. For this pairing to truly thrive, compromise is key. Capricorn must learn to loosen his grip on control and embrace a bit of chaos, allowing for flexibility and spontaneity in their shared life. He has to trust that love doesn't always follow a set plan and that some of the best experiences come from unexpected twists and turns. Meanwhile, Gemini needs to show Capricorn that she can be reliable when it truly matters, proving that her free-spirited nature doesn't mean she's incapable of deep commitment. If they can find a way to balance structure with freedom, stability with excitement, and deep conversations with playful banter, their relationship has the potential to be a fascinating and dynamic partnership. However, if they resist each other's core traits instead of appreciating them, their love story could turn into a constant tug-of-war, leaving both exhausted and unfulfilled. Sexual compatibility. Now, let's talk chemistry. In the bedroom, these two approach intimacy in completely different ways, making their connection either an exciting challenge or a frustrating mismatch. The Capricorn man is sensual, patient, and deeply values physical connection as a way to express his commitment and emotional depth. For him, sex isn't just about pleasure, it's about trust, consistency, and a slow-burning passion that grows stronger over time. He sees intimacy as a meaningful act, something to be nurtured and cherished rather than rushed or taken lightly. Every touch, every kiss, every moment is deliberate. Capricorn believes that great intimacy is built over time, with mutual understanding and emotional security as its foundation. Gemini, on the other hand, is playful, spontaneous, and endlessly curious. She thrives on variety, adventure, and the thrill of the unexpected. To her, sex is an exciting game, a way to explore, experiment, and keep things lively. She craves mental stimulation as much as physical pleasure. Seduction for her starts in the mind, with witty banter, teasing, and an element of surprise. Routine is her biggest enemy, and if things become too predictable or repetitive, she may start to lose interest. Unlike Capricorn, who seeks depth and emotional intensity, Gemini approaches intimacy with a sense of fun and lightness, constantly looking for new ways to spice things up. When these two sync up, their differences can actually create an incredible balance. Capricorn brings intensity, devotion, and a grounding presence, offering Gemini a deeper, more meaningful experience that she may not have sought out on her own. Meanwhile, Gemini brings excitement, playfulness, and creativity, helping Capricorn break free from his structured, often serious approach to sex. She introduces new ideas, fantasies, and unexpected twists that prevent their physical connection from becoming stale. Together, they have the potential to create a dynamic and passionate sexual relationship, where stability meets spontaneity in the most intriguing way. But here's the catch: if Capricorn becomes too serious or rigid in his approach, Gemini may start to feel confined. She doesn't want intimacy to feel like an obligation or a well-planned routine. If she senses that things are becoming too predictable, she might withdraw emotionally or seek excitement elsewhere. She needs a partner who can adapt and surprise her, someone who can match her playful energy without dampening her sense of freedom. Capricorn, being naturally methodical, might struggle to keep up with her ever-changing desires, leading to frustration on both sides. On the other hand, Gemini's restless nature can make Capricorn feel emotionally disconnected. He needs to feel secure in a relationship, and if Gemini treats intimacy too casually or seems detached, he might struggle to fully open up. Capricorn doesn't just want a physical connection, he wants a bond that deepens over time, something that feels unshakable. If he senses that Gemini is easily distracted or not fully present, he may start to feel undervalued or even rejected. The contrast between Capricorn's need for emotional depth and Gemini's desire for variety can create tension if not carefully managed. So, what's the secret to making this work? Communication. If these two can openly discuss their needs, boundaries, and desires, they stand a much better chance of finding a rhythm that satisfies both of them. Capricorn must be willing to embrace spontaneity, allowing himself to be more adventurous and open to new experiences in the bedroom. He has to understand that for Gemini, variety isn't a lack of commitment, it's a way to stay engaged and excited. Meanwhile, Gemini needs to recognize that Capricorn's steady, sensual approach isn't about being boring, it's his way of creating a lasting and meaningful connection. If she can reassure him that she's fully invested while still maintaining a sense of fun, their intimacy can flourish in a way that feels both exciting and deeply fulfilling. The key is balance. Too much structure, and Gemini may feel suffocated. Too much unpredictability, and Capricorn may feel emotionally lost. But if they can blend Capricorn's steady sensuality with Gemini's adventurous spirit, their sexual connection can become a unique fusion of passion and playfulness, one that keeps them both coming back for more. Marriage compatibility. So, could a Capricorn man and a Gemini woman make it down the aisle, and stay there? Well, it's complicated. These two approach the idea of marriage from entirely different angles, and while their differences can complement each other, they can just as easily drive them apart if they're not careful. Capricorn sees marriage as one of life's most serious commitments. To him, it's not just about love, it's about stability, shared goals, and a partnership built to last a lifetime. He envisions a structured future with a well-thought-out plan, from financial security to family traditions. He's the type to map out the next 5, 10, or even 20 years, planning for everything from mortgage payments to retirement investments. In his mind, marriage is a carefully constructed foundation that requires dedication, effort, and unwavering commitment. Gemini, on the other hand, is a free spirit who thrives on independence and spontaneity. The idea of a lifelong commitment can feel daunting to her, not because she isn't capable of love, but because she values freedom and change. The thought of settling down in a predictable routine can make her feel trapped. To Gemini, life is about exploration, new experiences, and embracing the unexpected. She doesn't necessarily oppose the idea of marriage, but she needs to feel like she's choosing it on her own terms, rather than being confined by societal expectations or Capricorn's structured vision of the future. If she senses that marriage means sacrificing her independence, she may hesitate or even resist the idea altogether. For a marriage between these two to thrive, compromise is non-negotiable. Capricorn must learn to trust Gemini enough to give her space. This means understanding that her need for freedom isn't a sign that she's unfaithful or disinterested, it's simply how she maintains her sense of self. If he tries to control her too much or impose strict rules on their relationship, she may start to feel suffocated, which could lead to distance or even rebellion. Instead, Capricorn needs to provide her with a stable, loving home without making her feel caged in. This can be a challenge for him, as he naturally craves order and predictability, but if he truly loves Gemini, he'll have to find a way to embrace a little uncertainty. On the other hand, Gemini must make an effort to reassure Capricorn that her love isn't fleeting. Her naturally changeable nature can make Capricorn nervous, he likes consistency, and Gemini's shifting interests and restless energy might make him question whether she's truly committed. If she wants their marriage to work, she has to show him that despite her need for variety and excitement, she values the foundation they're building together. This means being mindful of his need for security, following through on promises, and making sure that her actions align with her words. If Capricorn sees that she's willing to invest in their relationship, even in her own unconventional way, he'll feel much more confident in their future together. Interestingly, their opposite strengths can actually create a strong foundation. Capricorn's loyalty, dedication, and ability to plan for the long term provide Gemini with a level of security she might not have sought out on her own, but could come to deeply appreciate. He offers her a grounding presence, someone she can rely on no matter how unpredictable life becomes. Meanwhile, Gemini's adaptability, open-mindedness, and knack for thinking outside the box help keep their relationship fresh and dynamic. She encourages Capricorn to break free from his rigid mindset and see life's possibilities beyond schedules and responsibilities. If they can strike the right balance, they could have a marriage that beautifully blends stability with excitement, a rare and powerful combination. However, the biggest threat to their marriage lies in their natural tendencies pulling them too far apart. If Capricorn becomes too controlling, constantly trying to shape Gemini into his idea of a perfect wife, she will feel stifled and may start to pull away. Nothing will push her away faster than feeling like she's being micromanaged or expected to conform to a mold that doesn't suit her. On the flip side, if Gemini becomes too inconsistent, constantly changing her mind about what she wants or failing to provide Capricorn with the stability he craves, he may start to feel unappreciated or even abandoned. Capricorn needs a partner who shows up for him, who makes him feel like he's building something meaningful rather than chasing after a fleeting romance. If Gemini appears too detached or unreliable, Capricorn may lose faith in the marriage altogether. The key to making this work: mutual respect and flexibility. Capricorn must understand that Gemini's love doesn't have to look like his own structured, disciplined version of commitment. He needs to give her space to be herself, trust her instincts, and allow some unpredictability into their life together. In return, Gemini must recognize that Capricorn isn't trying to control her, he's simply wired to seek security and long-term success in everything he does, including love. If she can meet him halfway by providing reassurance and consistency in her own way, their marriage can become a beautiful blend of adventure and devotion. But if neither is willing to adapt, the cracks will start to show. Capricorn may become frustrated with Gemini's unpredictability, feeling like he's constantly trying to build something that won't stand the test of time. Meanwhile, Gemini may feel weighed down by Capricorn's expectations, longing for the freedom and spontaneity she once had. If they fail to bridge this gap, their marriage could turn into a battle between structure and chaos, one that leaves both feeling unfulfilled. However, if they embrace their differences and use them to their advantage, they could create a truly unique and lasting partnership, one that combines Capricorn's unwavering commitment with Gemini's boundless energy, making their marriage both stable and exhilarating. Friendship compatibility. You might not think these two would click as friends, but you'd be surprised. At first glance, the Capricorn man and Gemini woman seem like total opposites in how they approach friendships, and life in general. Capricorn values quality over quantity when it comes to friends. He's selective, careful about who he lets into his inner circle, and prefers a few deep, meaningful connections over a large, casual network. He doesn't waste time on superficial relationships, and once he considers someone a friend, his loyalty is unwavering. He's the type of friend who will show up when it truly matters, offering wisdom, guidance, and a rock-solid presence. Gemini, on the other hand, is a social butterfly. She thrives on variety and excitement, constantly meeting new people and bouncing from one conversation to the next. Unlike Capricorn, who carefully chooses his friendships, Gemini effortlessly floats between different social circles, forming connections wherever she goes. She's charming, witty, and engaging, making friends with ease. Her friendships are often light-hearted and dynamic. Some may last forever, while others may be short-lived but meaningful in the moment. To Capricorn, who values stability and consistency, this can seem a little chaotic or even superficial at first. At the beginning of their friendship, Capricorn might find Gemini a bit much. She talks fast, jumps between topics, and seems to operate at a completely different speed. Her unpredictable nature and ever-changing interests could make him question whether she's capable of real commitment, even in friendship. He prefers structure and reliability, while she thrives on spontaneity. But if he takes the time to get past his initial reservations, he'll start to see a different side of her. Beneath her playful exterior, Gemini possesses a sharp mind, an insatiable curiosity, and a unique way of looking at the world. Over time, Capricorn may come to admire her intelligence, adaptability, and ability to make even the most ordinary moments feel exciting. And Gemini? She'll respect Capricorn's wisdom and reliability, especially when life gets tough. While she has plenty of friends, few offer the depth and dependability that Capricorn does. When she needs real advice, someone to keep her grounded, or a voice of reason amid her ever-changing thoughts, Capricorn is the one she turns to. She may even find his serious, no-nonsense approach refreshing, especially when she's struggling to make a decision or navigate a complicated situation. His patience and level-headedness can provide a stability that she doesn't often find in her fast-paced social world. Their friendship works best when they accept and appreciate their differences. Capricorn can teach Gemini the value of patience, perseverance, and follow-through. He shows her that some of the most rewarding things in life take time and dedication, helping her develop a sense of discipline without taking away her natural spontaneity. In return, Gemini encourages Capricorn to loosen up and embrace life's unpredictability. She reminds him that not everything needs to be planned, that sometimes the best experiences come from saying yes to the unexpected. Through her, Capricorn can learn to relax, take risks, and find joy in the present moment rather than always focusing on long-term goals. But there's a risk. If Capricorn starts judging Gemini's carefree attitude, he may come across as overly critical or dismissive of her way of life. He has a habit of taking things seriously, and if he starts viewing Gemini as immature or unreliable, tension could develop between them. He may struggle to understand how she can be so adaptable, shifting gears effortlessly while he remains focused on structure and stability. If he pushes too hard, trying to impose his disciplined mindset on her, she may start to feel restricted or even irritated by his seriousness. Likewise, if Gemini begins to feel weighed down by Capricorn's cautious and sometimes rigid nature, she may start pulling away. She enjoys friendships that feel light and exciting, and if Capricorn's practicality turns into pessimism or excessive control, she might seek out more carefree companions. If she starts seeing him as too serious or too demanding, she may become distant, avoiding situations where she feels her freedom is being limited. The key to a lasting and fulfilling friendship between these two: mutual respect. If they embrace each other's strengths instead of focusing on their differences, their friendship can be a powerful balance of fun and stability. Capricorn can appreciate Gemini's ability to bring excitement and laughter into his life, while Gemini can value the grounding influence that Capricorn provides. Their bond works best when they see their contrasting qualities as complementary rather than conflicting. If they manage to strike that balance, their friendship can be an intriguing mix of wisdom and playfulness, one where Capricorn learns to embrace a little more adventure, and Gemini gains a true, steadfast friend who will always be there when it counts. Business compatibility. Here's where things get interesting. As business partners, Capricorn and Gemini bring very different skills to the table, and if they play their cards right, they could be unstoppable. Their dynamic is a perfect example of structure meeting creativity, discipline merging with adaptability, and long-term planning balancing out spontaneous innovation. If they can learn to navigate their differences and capitalize on their strengths, they have the potential to build something truly successful. However, if they let their contrasting work styles clash, their partnership could turn into a constant battle between order and chaos. Capricorn is the planner. He's disciplined, strategic, and thrives on structure. He's the one who ensures deadlines are met, finances are managed, and long-term goals are achieved. In any business venture, he takes a methodical approach, carefully analyzing risks, setting clear objectives, and making sure everything is running smoothly. He believes in steady progress, logical decision-making, and taking calculated risks rather than impulsive ones. To Capricorn, a successful business is built on hard work, persistence, and a well-thought-out strategy. He's not one to rush into things without careful consideration, and he expects the same level of dedication from his business partner. Gemini. She's the innovator. Her creativity and adaptability make her a natural at brainstorming, networking, and coming up with out-of-the-box solutions. She's full of fresh ideas, always spotting new opportunities and finding unconventional ways to tackle challenges. Unlike Capricorn, who prefers predictability, Gemini thrives on change and fast-paced environments. She's quick-thinking, persuasive, and excellent at handling multiple projects at once. While Capricorn ensures stability, Gemini brings the spark of excitement and innovation that keeps a business evolving and relevant. She's the one who can connect with clients, pitch ideas with enthusiasm, and keep the energy high in the workplace. When these strengths align, they're a dream team. Capricorn provides stability while Gemini keeps things dynamic. Capricorn ensures that the foundation of the business is solid, making sure there's financial security, a long-term growth plan, and a structured workflow. Meanwhile, Gemini injects excitement into the process, keeping things fresh with new marketing strategies, creative product ideas, and an ability to pivot when necessary. This balance can be incredibly powerful, as Capricorn grounds Gemini's sometimes scattered energy, while Gemini prevents Capricorn from getting stuck in outdated methods. Together, they can create a business that is both stable and forward-thinking, with a strong backbone and an ever-evolving vision. But there are potential pitfalls. Capricorn may find Gemini's scattered approach frustrating. He values consistency and follow-through, and Gemini's tendency to jump from one idea to another without finishing what she started could drive him crazy. He might see her as unreliable or too easily distracted, especially if she shifts focus before executing a plan fully. Capricorn likes order, while Gemini thrives in controlled chaos, and if Capricorn feels like things are spiraling out of control, he may become overly strict or critical. On the other hand, Gemini could see Capricorn as too rigid. She enjoys flexibility, thinking on her feet, and exploring new possibilities, but if Capricorn insists on following a strict plan without allowing room for adjustments, she may feel stifled. If Capricorn dismisses her ideas too quickly because they don't fit into his carefully structured vision, she might lose motivation or start working around him rather than with him. She needs a sense of freedom to be at her best, and if Capricorn's approach feels too restrictive, she may start pulling away or losing interest. The solution? Clear communication and defined roles. If Capricorn handles the structure, such as financial planning, organization, and long-term strategy, while allowing Gemini to lead creative ventures and networking efforts, their partnership could flourish. Capricorn must recognize that Gemini's fast-paced thinking is an asset rather than a liability, and Gemini needs to appreciate Capricorn's ability to create stability and ensure long-term success. By dividing responsibilities in a way that plays to their strengths, they can avoid stepping on each other's toes and focus on what they do best. However, if they fail to respect each other's working styles, conflict is inevitable. Capricorn's micromanaging could drive Gemini away, making her feel boxed in and uninspired. If he insists on doing everything his way without considering Gemini's input, she may start ignoring his guidance and making independent decisions, which could cause further tension. Likewise, Gemini's unpredictability could undermine Capricorn's carefully laid plans, creating frustration and instability in their business. If she constantly changes direction without discussing it first, Capricorn may feel like all his hard work is being undone, leading to resentment and potential breakdowns in communication. For this business partnership to thrive, both Capricorn and Gemini need to find a balance between structure and flexibility. Capricorn must learn to trust Gemini's instincts and give her the creative freedom she needs to keep things fresh. He has to resist the urge to control every detail and recognize that sometimes, spontaneity can lead to great opportunities. Meanwhile, Gemini must show Capricorn that she respects his need for order and consistency. She should make an effort to follow through on commitments, stay organized, and prove that her creativity can be channeled into tangible results. If they strike the right balance, their combined strengths could make them an unstoppable force in the business world. Capricorn ensures longevity, discipline, and financial stability, while Gemini keeps things innovative, exciting, and adaptable. Together, they can create a company that not only survives but thrives in an ever-changing market. However, if they let their differences become points of conflict rather than strengths to leverage, their business partnership may become an exhausting tug-of-war between control and chaos. The key is to embrace their unique qualities and use them to complement each other rather than compete, because when they do, they have the potential to build something truly extraordinary. Final thoughts. So, can a Capricorn man and a Gemini woman make it work? Absolutely, if they're willing to put in the effort. Their differences may create challenges, but those same differences can also be their greatest strengths. For love, patience and compromise are key. In the bedroom, open communication keeps the spark alive. In marriage, trust and freedom must coexist. As friends, mutual respect is everything. And in business, their opposing strengths can create a winning combination, if they play to their respective skills. At the end of the day, no astrological match is perfect, but with understanding and a little bit of magic, this cosmic duo could turn their differences into a love story for the ages. And who knows? Maybe the steady mountain goat and the playful butterfly are exactly what each other needs. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into astrology and compatibility. And let us know in the comments, do you think Capricorn and Gemini are a match made in heaven, or destined for disaster? We want to hear your take.